All right. So now when you talk about the non-current asset system, non-current asset system. Again, the feature remains the same because these systems are quite interrelated. Now, when you talk about the purchase of non-current asset, purchase and sale of the non-current asset. So first of all, this purchase and non-current asset decision is a strategic level decision. This is a strategic level decision. Because when you talk about the non-current assets, they normally huge in amount. They are actually having a significant amount. So when you are talking about the purchase of an non-current asset or even the sale, these are the strategic level decisions. That means these decisions should be taken at the board level. For example, if you want to buy a machinery, now it will cost you thousands of dollars. Now this decision should not be at the discretion of a purchase manager. The purchase manager is something who can purchase the daily basis things, but now this decision should be discussed at the board level by the purchase director. So this decision should be made by the board. Now, when you talk about the purchase and the sale of the non-current asset, again, this is not a sudden decision. This is not a sudden decision. Sometimes it may be, sometimes you need to change your non-current asset suddenly. Like for example, some machinery stops working and you have to change it. Sometimes there is an immediate regulation, you have to change it. But normally it is not a sudden decision. So the entity normally makes a capital budget for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, normally 5-year capital budget. That okay, in these 5 years, for example, year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we are going to purchase an asset at year 2, then we will be selling this asset at year 4. Similarly, they make a capital budget. Now, obviously, it is not possible at all that, for example, if they want to buy an asset at 2 times in a year. For example, in the year 1, they want to buy an asset twice. So they are just waiting for the board of the directors to sit and make a meeting. No, this is not going to happen. So there will be a capital budget made by the finance director that okay, these are the assets which we are going to buy in the year 1 and year 2, for example, year 3. These assets will be sold in the year 3, 4, and 5, whatever. That capital budget, along with the values, obviously in the budget we'll be having the monetary values, that will be presented to the board, and board will give the approval. Okay, now this budget has been approved. If you want to buy some asset, make sure that you are following the budget. If you want to sell some asset, make sure you are following the budget. So that budget will be approved, and now then those assets can be then purchased without having a board meeting because the capital budget has been approved by the board. So once it is approved, then by the signatures of a purchasing director, we can simply buy or sell those assets. So strategic level decision, there is a capital budget involved in that, and then the other main thing attached with this is actually the repairs and maintenance. Again, the expenditure, which is subsequent expenditure, the repair and maintenance. Sometimes overhauling, sometimes extensive repairs. Again, this should be done by the approval as well. So non-current asset is a quite simple system, and you can apply your common sense when you are dealing with this system. Then you have the bank and cash. Again, a very, very easy system. Bank and cash. The company normally does not maintain a huge amount of cash. The cash of the company is at bank. So the cash of the company is at bank, which is known as cash at bank. Whatever the amount company collects in terms of cash, that cash is submitted to the bank. Normally, if you have seen, for example, a store which is selling the goods on the cash. They have by the day end they have a huge amount of cash. Sometimes they just call the security company which collects the cash, and most of the times they have a contract with a security company. You just go to the store, they collect the cash from the store, and then they deposit in the bank account because it is quite risky. So the cash transfer is outsourced. The cash transfer function is outsourced to a security company. So the big stores have this process twice a day, for example, thrice a day, that the security company will be coming, they will be collecting the cash from the company or the store, and they will be submitting in the bank account because the company cannot maintain too much cash. It is risky. It can be stolen. So cash at bank, and then obviously when the cash is at bank, there should be a regular bank reconciliation so that the company should know that how much cash they are having in their bank accounts. So bank reconciliation is necessary. If the bank reconciliation is not done, then the company will not be having an appropriate idea that how much they have the cash in their bank accounts. And even this can result in some errors and frauds as well. So the amount of cash which the company holds for the day-to-day expenses is known as the petty cash, the small amount of cash for the small expenditures. And there are two types of systems in it, in which you study in your earlier studies: impress system and non-impress system. Impress system is the amount which has been decided that, okay, this is the amount that will be maintained in the petty cash. And for example, $1,000 is the amount that will be maintained in the petty cash. Now, if during the month 800 amount has been spent, then only 800 will be topped up to make it 1,000 again. That is known as the impress system. In the non-impress system, the entity includes a fixed amount of cash every month in the company's petty cash. So sometimes if the previous amount has not been spent, it becomes big and big, huge and huge, and that does not remain petty anymore, and it becomes huge. So non-impress system is most of the times not followed by the companies, and impress system is a system which is normally followed because it is a good system in terms that only the amount which is required in the cash till is topped up, and there's no huge amount in it. So the cash at bank, it has some, like, where the cash is placed, there should be proper lockups. Not everyone should be responsible for maintaining the cash. The person who is responsible for cash receipts should not be responsible for cash payments. That is known as segregation of the duties and the general controls related to the cash. So this is cash bank and the petty cash system. So now we have done all the systems. First we discussed the sales system, then we discussed the purchase system, then we discussed the payroll system, then we discussed the inventory, and then the non-current asset, bank and cash, and the petty cash. Now you are done with all the systems, and now before doing the question, which we'll be doing from tomorrow, it is your responsibility to read the complete notes, sales, purchase, all the system, and if there's anything, you can just highlight it, and you can ask me before we start the questions, and so that your every concept is clear, and there are too many questions we have to do.